Chaplain Zimmerman, how long have you been here in this camp?
We arrived here from Taiwan in the last part of the month of January of this year. For the first part of the detail that came in here, there were 100 men who came a few days later. There were 200 of us in the first party.
I see. Where's your home, Chaplain?
My home is in Seattle, although almost any place in the state of Washington could act as my home because I've lived all over the state.
How long have you been back here? How long have you been overseas? How long has it been since you've been
I
back
came
home?
to the Philippines in May of 1941. We arrived here in the 8th on the transport Washington.
So it's been better than 4 years now.
Yes, it's been 4 years since I've been home and seen my family.
What little I've seen of this camp, I noticed that they treated you pretty well here. Isn't that correct?
Well, compared with our treatment in the Philippines, we've been pretty well treated here. Although perhaps you wouldn't think so, yet to us it's been almost, well, as one of the Japanese said one time, consider yourselves in paradise.
Is that so? What happened in the Philippines in particular that makes you say this treatment you're getting here is much better? Was the brutality very severe there?
Well, after the Death March into Bataan, we could stand almost anything. We have seen men die and not turn a hair. We have seen men beaten to death or brutally treated, and we don't think anything about it. We got rather numb to it. For example, I remember, it was on the 26th of June, the first year we were in Bataan, in Cabanatuan rather. There were a number of men who were going out at night and getting through the small barbed wire fence we had for surrounding our camp at that time. And one night they captured 6 of these men and executed them the next day. I was acting as hospital chaplain at that time, and 2 of the men were brought over to the hospital area to be executed. But it so happened that that day we had, for the first time since we've been in the camp, an issue of flour, sugar, and grease. And so our cooks got busy and corned up some donuts for the men. Donuts were issued to the men just at the time these men were brought out to be executed. I went out with my donut in my hand to watch the execution, and suddenly looked around and noticed that there were about 500 men watching this execution, eating donuts while some of their comrades were being shot, thinking nothing of it.
Okay, cut.
Action.
What's your name, soldier?
I'm Private First Class Alvin James Aubuchon, sir.
Aubuchon?
Aubuchon.
Aubuchon.
Yes, sir, French.
Where's your home?
St. Louis, Missouri, sir.
St. Louis. Born and raised there?
No, sir, born in Chicago, raised in St. Louis, you might say.
And when did you come overseas?
I came over here in 1941 on April 22nd on the USAT Republic.
So you were in the Philippines when the Japanese attacked?
Yes, sir, I was.
When were you captured and where?
I was captured on Corregidor on May 6th, 42, sir.
I see. So you missed out on the Death March, didn't you?
Yes, sir, I was fortunate to miss out on that.
That's one of the things that sticks in the minds of most of the boys. But I've heard many other stories from them, too, of brutality in the camps. Was it pretty bad in the Philippines?
Yes, sir, we had a pretty rough time of it. It had its good points, but there were few, believe me.
Did you get into any scrapes with the nips yourself?
Well, I got in one particular incident with a Japanese that spoke fair English, and I was digging a ditch around a gasoline storage house, and we got in a rather halfway conversation about the two countries, and he insisted that the Japanese flag would always fly above the American flag. Of course, everybody stopped working, and he asked me if I thought that the American flag would ever fly below the Japanese flag. I told him no, it never would. I told him the American flag would rise in the Philippines and all over. Well, out of that, why, he insisted that I ought to have a little trashing, so I don't know. I just took a beating for about 2 hours, you might say, and then his friend took over, and that was just one instant there.
What did he beat you with?
Well, he started out with his hands and ended up with a club, and he was going to draw his bayonet, I think. He made an attempt for it, and one of the Japanese officers came over there and stopped it, and that was the end of it for that instant.
Have any of the other fellows had similar incidents or worse incidents that you know of that happened?
Well, yes, sir. We had an incident in Palo One of a boy named Bingham. He was working around a Japanese mess sergeant down there, and for some reason the Japanese mess sergeant didn't care much about him or care for his actions, and he spilled some scalding hot tea on his legs and caused him to be laid up for quite a while. And he remains with good scars on his body.
I mean, he spilled the tea on his legs purposely.
Yes, sir. He actually threw it on there. It's like he broke their arms.
Okay, cut. What's your name, soldier?
Private First Class Benini, sir.
Private First Class what?
Benini.
Benini?
B-E-N-I-N-I.
Benini. Where are you from?
Pennsylvania.
What part?
Southwestern part, sir.
What's the name of town?
Acosta.
Acosta. Were you in the Philippines at the time the Japs attacked?
Yes, sir.
On Bataan?
Yes, sir, on Bataan.
Oh, you made the death march then?
No, sir, I was captured before that.
Oh, I see. And you were imprisoned in some of the prison camps there in Bataan?
Yes, sir.
Or rather there in the Philippines?
Yes, sir.
What's this White House story you were going to tell me just a minute ago?
There was a building out at Camp Murphy.
Camp Murphy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And they moved us out there from Nielsen Field. We'd been working on airports. They moved us out to this White House, and which was the headquarters of the 1st Philippine Division, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And we were living there, and the chow wasn't very good, and these Japanese used to come into the compound, and they'd make off with a sack of potatoes or a sack of sugar or a sack of rice or something like that. And there was a fellow by the name of Burnett, I believe. Anyhow, he was one of the fellows that had guts enough to turn him in.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they turned this Japanese gunso in. And
what is a gunsa?
our gunso is the same rate as our technical sergeant, tech sergeant.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the fellows, like I said, that had guts enough to turn him into the Japanese officer. Well, that night, when he turned him in, the gunso brought some of his cronies over. They worked him over pretty good, and broke his arm besides. And if it wouldn't have been for one of the fellows and for one of the interpreter, but for the interpreter, the Japanese interpreter, they were going to bayonet him that night.
Well, where does it get the name White House?
White House was because it was big and it was painted white.
Oh, I see. Okay, cut. Colonel Gaskell, where's your home?
I'm a Texan. My wife at present is in San Antonio.
San Antonio, Texas?
That's right.
I see. Did you spend most of your home life in San Antonio?
No, I was born in Smithville, Texas, near the capital, Austin.
I see.
But I spent most of my early years in Texas until I was about 16.
Mm-hmm. When did you come to the Philippines?
In 1940, November the 1st. Mm-hmm. A good year before the war.
So you had spent quite a little time in the Philippines during peace times. You know what